What's going on, guys? Samuel Reviews here, back with another video. This is going to be an issue on us today. I am here to give my favorite moment from every US season on Big Brother. Of course, I'm about the main 21 seasons, and just not 22. That might be one day. Then I'm my one favorite moment from each season, along with adding the over the top season and the 2 celebrity seasons again. And I'm a huge fan of Big Brother, guys know, and the being we're still watching is definitely top for another day, because I had the season's been, and again, that's a start for another day. But if I want to still show my love for the show and get my favorite moments from every season, again, I'm only talking about the US season. I did watch Canada, but I think it's best if I save that for another video. And still probably love it, so I wanted to save Canada for another video. So, yeah, like right after 9 comes out, I will probably do my favorite moments from each of those seasons. So, I got a lot to talk about, but I hope y'all enjoyed this little video. If you leave a comment section below, what are your favorite moments from every season of Big Brother? What moments of the show did you love the most? So, if you hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. So, enough beyond the push. Let's talk about some actual good elements of all in Big Brother. First up, Big Brother 1. Now, when I talk about a lot of these seasons, I'm going to pick like 3 moments from each of these seasons, discussing which one I'll say is my favorites. But Big Brother 1 and a couple other seasons, there's not really much great moments in the season, to be honest. Like, this reason why Big Brother 1 is known as being the more forgettable season. So it's pretty much wasn't the Brother really known love. So I guess my favorite moment will probably be how George got his nickname. That's really the only moment I can really think that sticks on my mind this season. That's really all I can really say about Big Brother 1. Sorry. But now we get to Big Brother 2, which definitely is a much better season. Again, it definitely feels weird when you compare it to Big Brother now. Kind of similar to how we compare it as far as Borneo to where it is now. But Big Brother 2 is still a great season in my opinion. And there definitely was great moments, like, you got these Justin expulsion where you end up getting expelled for causing violence and threats and even trying to kill someone. Like, there's one where you see former Survivor players like Jeff Varner, Alicia, Jervis, and Sue also kind of in the house for like a competition, which I think was actually very cool. But my favorite moment in this season would definitely be the infamous Shannon using Harry's toothbrush. It's so hilarious and nonsensical that you can't help but just laugh every time I watch it. And it's definitely a scene I've seen a lot of times and can't help get enough of. Like, it's funny for a reason. Now on to Big Brother 3. Season that definitely was less, but definitely some really good moments. Like, got Daniel wanting, I hate peanut butter and jelly. Jelly then got the peanut butter bikinis thing, which is pretty hilarious and just can't help but smile. But my favorite moment is definitely going to be easily the infamous move that Marcellus made, where he did not use the veto. Because this was easy when he didn't have a chance to save himself, but he did not use it, and now ended up biting the ass and getting infected, which I don't know if that was really a surprise, if it surprised a lot of people, but it's definitely one that's definitely just, man, what a surprising moment. What's the moment? That definitely is, yeah, Big Brother really isn't a great season, if being honest, but if you really think about it. But this moment definitely still sticks in my mind as good. Now we get to Big Brother 4, which is another season that I can't really think about much good moments on. So if you think about it, like it's definitely much better and more watchable than BB1. But it's not really just a good, not really that memorable season. Really, honestly, really think about it. I guess I'll go with the Scott expulsion. I guess again. Not really much to say about BB4 for thinking about it, if I'm being honest. There may be some moments pump here, like maybe also the Erica, Alpha version Erica, but I don't know. Again, that's not really much memorable for everything about BB1. Again, much more watchable than BB1, but definitely still kind of forgettable. Sorry. Now we get to one of my favorite seasons of the show, personally, BB5. BB5. And this season definitely is full of great moments. Like, of course, you got the two twists of the season with definitely all great moments, like the twin twist with Adrian and Natalie. Seeing them basically switch places and talk about everything involving like what's going on in the house and all that. So it's pretty cool and fascinating. Then you got the whole Project DNA review where Cowboy and Comas found out that they share the same father. Which I think was actually a pretty touching moment, honestly, for them. It's actually a pretty sad and touching moment. But for me, my favorite is easily the whole backdoor with Jace. Like, this is pretty much the first ever backdoor in BB history. And it's pretty much what caused the whole backdoor thing, where basically you put up pawns and then set someone up and you end up backdooring the person. Like that, that's pretty much what when was the backdoor element was born. And seeing Jace kind of get his comeuppance in the game backdoor was honestly pretty awesome. I can't help but smile every time I think about it. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite moment this season. But now we get to BB6, which a season that honestly isn't as boring and bad. Boring and like I remember not really liking this season honestly for some reason, but it's actually a lot to really appreciate BB6 honestly. Maybe it was because I'm sitting players or whatever, but I used to never really be fond of BB6, but it's actually a lot of interesting stuff. Like you get the whole Paulie has the hair, Paulie has the hair, Paulie has the hair. And of course, you got Jennifer end up backdooring Kaiser in the whole 15-hour competition. That's still the long. I think it was 15. I don't think it was longer. I don't remember, but I think it shouldn't have been the longest one in BB history. Like man. But for me, my favorite is easily the Erica Michael fights. Like there did a lot of more fights. Again, I did do a top 10 memorable fight, but I did do a top 10 best prepared fights on my channel early this year. If you watch that out. But this one was probably pretty much kind of physical and all that, and kind of personal, and just how Erica kind of slipped down, and just like it was kind of scary to think about. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite moment. But again, this is still not full of memorable moments, but that's easily my favorites. Now we get to the first BB All Stars, which is definitely one of the best seasons of the show. Again, you do get a lot of great, memorable, incredible Big Brother moments. Like, of course, you got the whole Howie and George the jury fight that happened when George enters the jury house, and Howard just can't seem to not take things personally. Then you got pretty much every dining room phone call attention with Mike Berkey out to world. Like, yeah, is it? Like, how can you not laugh at that? It's like they are still some of the funniest moments in the entire show. Like, I can't think just one. Like, all of them are just top tier amazing in terms of humor and just amazement. But for me, my favorite moment of the season is the easy moment when Janelle blindsides Dr. Well. I don't know if it was going to be a surprise or whatever, or it should be a homecoming, but of course, it might be Dr. Well thinking that they got, yeah, we're found too, and I know Janelle's going to be Erica because Janelle hates her. But then they realized that Janelle and Erica could talk to each other in the end to figure out they were playing them, and Janelle pretty much makes fun one of the biggest moves ever, and they fix Will. I've said, this season I make a lot of mistakes, but this season I'm not. So Marcellus Hallie, I felt to fix you, like perfection. And that one is the reason why Janelle is so memorable and so beloved, but they have a reason. So that's easily my favorite moment. From BB8. Pretty much every moment your moment honestly involves evil dick. Like, I know I should not like the guy honestly, but the guy is just so purposely, oh my god, and so purposely hilarious that I cannot help but loving this guy. Pretty much every moment, like of course you got the whole scene where Eric ends up evil dick for a Hunting of All America's player, and you also got the fight at Second Gem, which I think was in my top 3 my favorite fights in the show's history. But for me, my favorite moment is easily part 1 of the final H-Church competition, where we see he was like holding kid, he's really trying to win this for his daughter, and he really wants to win it for her and all that. He's been there for like 8 hours, very tired honestly. It's like kicked into it, then he was like doing all that, and you can tell he for a second he really wants to make the ending. He feels like he wasn't going to, and they ended up doing that, but it's definitely a moment we actually do feel for them and their relationship. So yeah, it's actually a pretty honestly one of the most emotional moments of all the challenges I've seen in Arlington show history. So yeah, it definitely belongs. That's my favorite moment for BB, which a season I think is honestly truly great. Now for BB9, another season that, first I think that I used to enjoy, but kind of declined for me. Like, I was able to make some good moments, like Jacob pretty much screwing his game, like one of the biggest screwing people's games ever. Like, wow. And you got to see Evil Dick in the viewing competition, which was pretty cool. But then, my friend's probably easily a blindside volume with James set promising to keep Matt. He ended up blindsiding him. I found that he was pretty much the third person that didn't vote to keep him when James got evicted. They would over here James to come back or Mr. Houseguest. And one of them's still good, but I don't think they're true top tier big butt, I'm being honest. So it was definitely hard trying to pick our great moments, honestly. So, but yeah, what can you do? Now for BB10, which is my favorite season of the show. And a season filled with so many iconic and so many fights, so many memorable moments. Cause we got the moment where we see Dan blindsiding Michelle, but and how he did it is just so freaking Dan. Oh my god. And then you got the news literature competition where you end up seeing players come back like June, Amy, Bergie, Jace, Janelle. Competition where they try to pick what's in the news and not in the news, and some of the stuff there was it's easily probably the most hilarious thing ever on the show. But I mean, my favorite moment's easily the whole Keisha birthday blur. I mean, come on. Come on, it's honestly a bit my favorite moment of the show, sister, being honest. It's so iconic, so memorable, and so, oh my god, insane. I can't help but smile and can't help but just feel like this is why I love this show. This is why I love this show. So yeah, definitely my favorite moment of the season. But again, this season is filled with so many iconic moments. So, I think you mentioned the fact that Brian's also probably one of the who should love his game. So yeah. Now we get to BB11, which was the season that got me into BB in the first place. Seeing that actually, it's also filled with great moments, honestly, about come on, the whole Kevin and Brayden fight. All that going on fights. Probably my favorite moment probably be for the weird moment with Lydia, Shima, and Natalie around Jeff C. I think the reason why I like that moment is because of how ridiculous and just weird it is. And that makes it so hilarious, whether it's unintentional or not. I mean, then you got Jeff using the coup d'etat. Definitely my favorite, definitely another fight. I try not to make my favorite moments all fights, but sometimes I can't help it. My favorite is the one with Jeff and Jordan versus Russell. Honestly, any fights involving Russell could have topped this list, honestly. You got the whole Russell and Shima fight. You got his fight. It was oh, that's on to you, to Lydia. Got another fight you have with Shima. Russell was just to take a time bomb in the house. I could go into fights involving Lydia. But in terms of memorability, this easily tops it. Now for BB12, which is another top tier season for me. Considering that it's season that is kind of predictable, considering that it's kind of what I'm make Christmas for the new season. It's weird, but I think this is because that people were actually playing the game and people actually interesting and compelling. You got some great moments. You got the Riggo and Rachel fight. That's just Rachel just pretty much blasting at Rachel, and it's something that kind of saying stuff that kind of want to hear about Rachel for a while. Then you got Matt revealing that his wife is actually not sick, which was one of his biggest line in the house, and feeling that to basically Brendan, Rachel, and Kathy was I knew I was banging around the ass, and I did. But the Rachel and Kristen fight easily is great. Again, I don't clear that I'm not really the hugest fan of Rachel, for being honest. She's someone that's always been very up and down for me. The moments where I do actually like her, the moments where I'm just so irritated by her. I wouldn't really consider one of my favorites, to being honest. Sometimes she can be pretty interesting and compelling, but sometimes she can be just so whiny, where it's irritating and annoying. But this is definitely one of her highlights on. Of course, we got the whole floaters, Banning Rebel Life Fest, which I think also quoted the term floaters in the game. So that's iconic for her, but basically she's matching Kristen for thinking that she doesn't know what she wants to veto, and they had just a big fight around it, and everyone's oh my god, where's the popcorn, I want to watch this, oh my god, again, that moment is just, wow, and he's my favorite from the season. Now for BB13, well, if it wasn't for that whole Final 6 thing was kind of pretty obvious that production is kind of cheating a little bit to keep Rachel enjoying the game. It would easily be a top tier season for me. Because there were a lot of good moments, like the whole duels twist and all that, and a lot of fights, a lot of memorable players. I mean, and for me, like, you got two memorable fights that are easily my favorites, like the one with Daniel Kaluuya versus Jeff, Jordan, Rachel, and Brendan. Like, Daniel pretty much just kind of screwed up game bits, and got the one between Jeff and Adam versus Shelly, which kind of caused what is actually my favorite moment season, that is Jeff's blindside, which just man, I'm sure his first blindside probably not been that surprising, but it's one you actually don't see comes up. Don't remember the answer, because even if I was showing, I don't really remember. It's still surprising. It's something you kind of don't see coming, actually. If you're being honest, like, Rachel's gonna be telling honestly. But then Shelly just, sorry Jeff, but just be me and my family, or something like that, and then Jack gets evicted, which probably supposed a lot of people have. I mean, surprising to the point where Shelly kind of got death threats. No joke. But see how surprising is it? Definitely under no one. And now we get to my second favorite season of the show, BB14. And I really got two great moments that are easily my favorites. Of course, you got some great moments like this whole little date between Ian and Ashley, but my two favorite moments are easily two moments involving Dan, which easily are in debate for my favorite moments in the show's history. Like the moment where basically Dan blindsides Shane by promising Daniel that he wouldn't. He somehow convinced Daniel to use the video on her and perhaps have Shane beat up, and ends up hitting Shane. Like, I remember being so like, I was hoping that please, oh my god, really, like, I don't think Answer me is so pissed, and she was, like, it was just so, wow, like, her reaction, like, it's probably the biggest reaction I've seen out of anyone getting blinds, like, oh my god. My god, the reaction, but of course, despite how much I think that it probably is the biggest blindside in the show's history, I think that moment's easily Dan's funeral. Like, this, like, I don't know why I hated Dan so much season, but this moment really inspired Dan as a top tier player. Like, I thought his moments in the first season was amazing. This moment really inspired him as, because if he didn't make this move, he probably would have honestly gotten run out, to be honest. But he ended up making a big surprising move, where basically just did whole funeral thing, said a lot of crazy stuff, tried to convince everyone this and that and all that, then somehow convincing Frank about people to work with him, despite Frank being the one that's wanting to get him out for the longest time. Like, he is a true master manipulator, and I also convincing him to throw out Brittany. Why did they win this season again? What do we have to compare juries? I thought so. Now for BB15, and you think I wouldn't have much to say about BB15, so this probably is my worst season, but no, it actually isn't. I know. Now, I wouldn't say this is a good season by any means, honestly, but there was some aspects of the season that definitely kind of grown on me a bit, honestly. Like Duke actually does some really good moments here. Like, Alessa pretty much screwing her game and had a double eviction, like, oh my god, Alessa, like, I'm pretty sure she hasn't lost to return this one, for being honest. And I'm pretty sure she will return on to at some point. Then you get the whole Nick blindside, where he thought he was probably going to be, like, a top tier winner, or someone else was going to make it to the end. But no, he gave her a second. But for me, what actually changed the season for me is Andy's win. I thought he was also the most forgettable one, if I'm being honest, but when I actually really analyzed his game, when I actually watched a few videos involving him, I was like, wow, Andy's actually a much better player than I remember, like, why did I thought he was forgettable again? Because he's actually a pretty great player if you actually remember his moves and how he was playing. And actually, he's actually a pretty likable person if you really think about it. And I think probably why I thought was I really think that the edit that he was given, and he admits that the edit he was given really kind of messed with that, so I think that's probably why I thought he was forgettable. But really, but yeah, he's actually a great player, and his final Joey performance, which is my favorite moment of the season, which probably is in the way for the best Joey performance ever on Big Brother, definitely identifies him as a great winner. I don't remember if I say it's one of my favorites, at least right now as I'm doing this. But he is But this final Joy performance definitely started Andy as a great player. And these are my favorite moments of the season that I really don't hate as much as that guy. I don't think it's a good season by any means. I'll say it's not like a 5 or 6 out of 10 because there's still some things that really do break down, especially the racism stuff and Jean Marie and Amanda. But yeah, Andy's definitely Joy performance definitely, and beating of his game definitely bring the season up a notch for me. Now for BB16, which is now like 5, 6 out of 10 this season. But there's some great moments here. There are still actually some really great moments in this season. Like, go got that whole blow with Zach and Devin a week to Devin, like, Devin. Like, I actually do hope he actually gets second chance soon so he can actually, like, prove himself again. And they got the moment basically Caleb, like, tries to throw the bat of the block to try to get rid of Frankie. That Frankie somehow ends up winning. But then Caleb basically tries to during the competition saying, I'm not beating this. You pretty much match everyone in this house. You pretty much try to trust everybody. So, yeah, screw you. And that's one of the only few moments I actually really liked Caleb that season. And definitely it was much better on the time on Survivor. My favorite moment is easily the Jeff and Jordan proposal. Like the moment Jeff finally proposes to Jordan, and they end up bringing their family along and everything, and they got Elvis just sing Me to Me, which this moment honestly why Me to Me will always be my favorite song by Edward, despite his many amazing songs. So it's a very sweet moment upon my favorite showman in the show's history. I'm not saying that because I am planning to do like a best or worst showmans on the show at some point, but yeah, this was so sweet and heartfelt, and these two really do deserve each other. And it's good that they actually do great together. Apparently, they have like 2 kids now, for last time I checked, but yeah, awesome. Now for BB Over the Top, which was a digital season, which I don't think I've ever done more of this, honestly, to be honest, but I mean, there was some point. But I think this is actually one of the best seasons of the show, honestly. I think a lot of it is really due to his cast. Especially people like Morgan, Alex, Shelby. Like, I hope to God we see Shelby again at some point. Like, please, for God, bring back Shelby. And pretty much every moment actually on top of it actually involves Shelby. Like at the whole fight with her and Jason on week 2. And then you had the whole fight she had with Jason and Whitney along with Alex and Morgan. But my favorite is the moment where basically Alex and Morgan feels that Shelby they are sisters, and I just don't want to lift my death from a lot of the great friendship that these 3 have had throughout the game. So yeah, easily my favorite moment. But there's also fairly long range moments as well, but that moment is my favorite. But definitely actually a great season, honestly, and definitely a great cast as well. And now we get to BB17, which season that actually has really actually up. I think I actually liked and enjoyed the more I think about it, honestly. I really think about it, because there's actually a lot to really actually enjoy about this season, honestly. I don't think I don't think it's one of my favorites, honestly, but the cast really does make the season, honestly. Like, you do get great moments, like Austin's blindside, which I don't know if it's surprised or not. I think his reactions work sometimes as a favorite moment. The blow up that Audrey had in week 4 that kind of basically just dug her own grave there moments. But to me, my favorite, that's the moment, actually, a following player that I used to hate, but not love. And that's where Vanessa somehow convinced Julia to basically choose Austin as her opponent in the final 6-year competition. Like, and somehow Julia ends up going along with it. I was like, wow, Vanessa, like, why not like you again? Or it's really your paranoia was also annoying, but as a player, you were pretty smart, like, man, I wish you were on Zombie Bird also, but again, I think she's like pregnant apparently, last time I checked, but or she's a baby, I don't remember, but I would definitely love to see Vanessa play again, honestly. But now we get to the 2 Big Brother Celebrity seasons. First up, Celebrity Big Brother 1, which I think is actually a pretty good season, honestly. It's probably being a shorter season, and you have some good moments here. Probably my favorite actually would be the moment where see Brandon getting jealous of Ross and Ariana. They have moments that are hilarious. Then you get some moments between the rivalry between Brandy and James, and Marissa somehow winning when I thought Ross pretty much had it in him, honestly. But yes, it's still a good season though. But the Brandy moment definitely is my favorite. Now we get to Celebrity Bird 2, which is one of the last season. It's definitely a season that I'm not really too fond of, being honest. I guess I would go with the Team Office Wolfpack Pitch. I think as a moment Team any of like the fights so on moments that heartfelt moments that have Tamar, because she really sold the season, honestly. If you think she really sold the season, so Yeah, it's not much I can really say, if you can't tell, so, yeah. Now on to Baby 18. Another, like, 6 to 5 out of 10 season, unfortunately, but, again, still feel great moments. Like, got the whole Victor returning twice, actually being Polly to turn the house and stuff, yeah. And then you got the whole Zing, but basically everyone come on and just give zings to everybody, which are so clever and hilarious. But my favorite moment is in the easily the Davon and Polly blow around the jury house. Like, I mean, come on. That has to be a favorite moment of the season. It's truly an incredibly memorable moment. And seeing just Davon Polly just getting at each other, and of course Davon basically just saying what kind of stuff people go and all that, and Davon just blowing up at him. Like, that must have been for a freaking reason. So, yeah. Now for Baby 19, which for me is probably my least favorite season of the show, honestly, because of how boring it was, but also probably the worst cast in the show, just despite a couple of highlights. But, oh my god, Dan. And, like, this is a little too much, like, let's have Paul win again season, and you think it's right now Paul would actually win again? But no, Josh of all people, and Josh Martinez of all people, ended up winning. Like, I'm so baffled at that. Like, he was one of the least likely person, honestly, to win, honestly. I think it's probably the least person for everybody to win. But even the people that really hated him the most, like Cody, Alina, and Mark, ended up voting for him to win. That's when, like, I don't know if that's really because of Paul's poor jury management or whatever, but I don't think it was really a surprise for everybody, honestly, because, yeah. I don't know if Josh is I don't remember if Josh is as bad as I remember him to be, but I think a lot is really because of Paul, honestly. For anything, he's definitely better on our show, so yeah, that's probably my favorite one because there's not really good I can really say about BB19. Sorry. Only got 2 more pieces to talk about. First up, next up, BB20. 20, which is definitely a scene that is a huge resurgence from previous seasons, and it's probably one of my favorites of the show. And it had definitely one of the best casts in the show's history, and you do get some great moments here. Like, got the whole Nicole and Victor proposal moment, which is a very sweet moment, and and it's crazy because I think a few years before this, I didn't realize that Nicole and Victor actually were dating, but now they're engaged, which I think is still a sweet moment in the show. Then got the whole Tyler and Bailey fight that happened. But me, Zanebot, the moment we see Zanebot is easy. This is definitely one of the fun, probably my favorite Zanebot portion in the entire show. A lot of much to say about Angela, Fessy, and of course saying Sam's freaking crazy, and I was like, Zanebot, what are you doing? Like, I could not stop laughing. Like, again, a season that's filled with so many great moments. You also get, someone since 3 wants to have Angela as well, but Zanebot, easily best thing about the season. Okay, now 1 more season to go, BB21. A season that's, I think it was 6 out of 10 last time I seen it, and I was still reading where it has, it's just very much been very up now for me with the moments where I actually enjoying the season, and the moments where I'm hating and wondering why I'm questioning still watching the show. I thought kind of bad it is. That's like you do get the good moments here. Like, got a moment where Sam found his grandfather's past, and then you got the whole 6 blowout situation. But my favorite one's actually easily Jackson's move against Tommy. Like, again, I'm someone that really cannot stand Jackson, to be honest, because I don't know if he's really, because, yeah, you've seen his behavior, you wonder why. But him basically trying to convince Cliff and Nicole to basically vote against Tommy by basically saying that Tommy was doing this, and, like, stay away with Jackson. That's actually a great move, actually. It's actually very convincing, actually, of how they are actually able to convince Cliff and Nicole to vote Tommy out. Like, that is actually pretty impressive. Like, I remember being like, why would you vote Tommy? You could easily vote Holly. But then, when you see that fight, you're just like, oh, that makes sense. So, easily my favorite moment from the season. And just for hell of it, I'm going to go on my personal 10 favorite moments from the entirety of Big Brother US. Number 10, the fight with Rachel and Kristen for BB12. Where's the popcorn? Where's the popcorn? Number 9, the Polly and Davon blow up. Don't bring out my daughter to this day! Don't bring out my daughter! This is the boy you play with! This one right here! Number 8, the Jeff Jordan supposed to be 16. If voluntary you feel, and perfect's what you see, then I'll be what you mean to me. Number 7, part 1 of the final H competition from BB-8. Again, pretty emotional stuff. Number 6, the Zing Bop version in BB-20. Again, I pretty much love anything involving Zing Bop. He is probably one of the most hilarious things ever. But his BB-20 appearance is easily my favorite of his. Like, so hysterical. Number 5, Janelle Bryan sent Dr. Will in BB-7. But Thompson Hadley, I vote to fit you win. Number 4, every diary session with Dr. Will. Hey, Janelle didn't put me up. She didn't put me up. And it went right and people are stupid. Yeah. Number 3, Dan Blindside Shane in BB-14. And easily the best blindside in the show's history, like, and then his reaction pretty much said it all. Number 2, probably the best move in the show's history, probably one of the best moves in reality show history, Dan's funeral. Like, I think this really separates Dan as probably the best player in Big Brother history. Big Brother 10 really show we can really show, and Big Brother 10 was definitely a high point, but this move is just damn. But my number 1 favorite moment in Big Brother history, and this is one that pretty much reminds me of why I love Big Brother, the whole Keisha birthday blowout. But I'm not easily when I said the most, like he said, she said, oh, I know exactly that, like you did, and happy birthday to you, like, oh my god. Well guys, I hope you join me discussing my favorite moment from every season of Big Brother, along with my 10 personal favorites. This is a fun list to do on the show, and so I'm not sure how I'll keep doing these videos, but we'll see how it goes. But I would love to know down in the comments down below, what are your favorite moments from every season of the show? What are your personal 10 or your biggest favorite moments from this entire show? I would love to know down in the comments down below. I actually do have a few more Big Brother related videos still coming very soon, so be on the lookout for that. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly honestly appreciate it. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video, be sure to share and subscribe, be sure to follow all my social media sites, all the description down below. I'm Samuel One World from Samuel One's Views. I will see you next time, as always, stay cool, everybody. Peace.